And we're going to show you some examples now of work that we've done, and Dawn's going to take you through the stories of the people that we've worked on and the different solutions that we have come up with.
This part of the presentation, I'd like to ask if you didn't photograph because of patient confidentiality, but we've made a little handout for you today that's got our idea on courses, and if you want to borrow them, use them to make your own courses, please do so. We put a few thumbnails in there of patients that are willing for their pictures to be sent to you by the web. You just need to ask us if there's anything we can do to help you in your practice, push it forward in medical. Images will be sent to you with our blessing. I get the pictorial bit, so this is, as Sam said, putting colour back into people's lives is something we firmly believe. That is what medical tattooing is to us, finishing touches. It's a catalogue of so many things, and every time we think we've made our list, the list gets longer. We're very lucky to work with eminent surgeons after all the years of being in the industry, and the 4 surgeons at the bottom, initially, the first surgeon is the one I went to see many, many years ago when I wanted to get into medical tattooing. Raj is now the president of one of the leading sort of BARS, British Association of Plastic Surgeons in the UK, and I sent him many times our information. He never responded. I thought he was really rude, so I booked in to see him for consultation. I went in and asked if I could have a boob job. When I sat down, he said I didn't need one, and I said, that's okay, I'll put 40 minutes of your time. We chatted, he hadn't seen the literature we'd sent, we spoke about it, we showed him the work we did, and he immediately started recommending patients to us. We were overwhelmed with patients. We then made a conference and he came and spoke to us, and it's fantastic because people used to say, my God, Rajiv Grover, how do you get hold of him? How much does he cost? He came for free. It was followed by Jonathan, Mysore, and then on the end, Ian Brown, did the audit that Sam spoke about earlier. His passion with medical tattooing is great. He literally does his reconstruction and he does his own areola tattooing. And to get our machine, he dresses a chicken around America. He's that passionate about this being done on a patient. But as we know, if you do medical tattooing here or you're thinking of moving into it, it literally isn't a magic wand. But we can give people an answer sometimes, not necessarily a perfect answer, but we can offer them hope and sometimes a great solution. The list is endless of the things we do, as I say, and that list is growing with our fantastic trainers who come up with great ideas for procedures we never thought about. Literally, top-to-toe areola, top-to-toe tattooing, nipples everywhere. So how do we move from semi-permanent makeup to what we call work on the face? We're now starting to call it the medical side, facial feature restoration. Because we have lots of people who want semi-permanent makeup, micropigmentation, but there are those people that need facial feature restoration. This is Natalie, and Natalie, I thought of Natalie when Hugo wrote, put on the screen all these wonderful things. Natalie is a beautiful soul, but Natalie was homeschooled as a child because she was always tormented in class. She looks beautiful, why would she be taunted in class? She simply just had a cleft lip. And for many years, she just was, children were cruel, she had bad surgery, but we saw her and we've done some fantastic work on her, and we literally saw her gain a few weeks ago, and she smiles, she's happy, she's got a great job. It's amazing what a little bit of work, initially working on her scar, you never tattoo a lip without treating the scar first, but then putting in simply a fantastic pair of lips, which everybody here can do lips. It makes a great deal of difference. Thank you. And again, you all do eyebrows, wonderful eyebrows. We're all here to knowledge share, to learn more about how we can make our great eyebrows greater. But with alopecia, we've come a long way with the new needles yarn with our slope needles, we can now do fantastic hair strokes. And the lady at the top, alopecia totalis, the lady at the bottom had a facial trauma, had to have an expander put in her face, so she had a big scar through it. So with those simple few hair strokes, it makes a big visual difference. Not just for the women, men as well need our service. They may want it cosmetically as well, because the male sector is growing cosmetically, but these men need it. Of course, we have alopecia totalis gentlemen, and we have people that have been burned. At the bottom is Tarek. Tarek will come up later in the presentation when we do some patient stories. And you can see Tarek's eyebrows are nowhere near good as Alex's eyebrows, Alec, at the top, because you're working on a damaged canvas. So we can make people look better, we cannot make them look necessarily like they did pre-trauma. Some of our ladies with their lips, these ladies as well, also have benefited amazingly from having a simple lip treatment, which is what you do, but you can take it one step further into the medical sector. The lady on the left had a facial cancer operation, had a disfigured top lip, and the lady on the right, again, one of our patients, you'll see full face later in the presentation, burn survivor. And then there's other people that need some makeup. I thought I'd check you were awake. That was on a night out. And again, then depigmentation, sometimes not a big need for medical, but if somebody doesn't like something about themselves, it can be a quick fix to make them look better. This is a lady who we've been working on for a while. A technician had decided to do a Latino eyeliner in one go, over and over again, and virtually drilled the eyelid off this lady and made her massive scars. This has been, we've treated her now a few times. They were initially all over her lid, and I couldn't find the pre-slides. But we have managed to reduce the scarring on her lip by dry needling. And with dry needling, we've also been able to draw out some of the colour. So this is a work in progress. And if in time you want information and ask about this, we will be able to have further images because she's consented to send them on. So when we're ready, we have them, they'll be available. As a company, this is the main thing we do in medical tattooing. We literally put the cherry back on the top of that cake with a 3D nipple areola treatment. I haven't put lots of slides up because that's Taryn's presentation with Kelly tomorrow. Taryn has the most incredible presentation and she is the most incredible lecturer. Oh, it's today, after lunch. But I know there's lots of other workshops, so if you can't make it, catch us at another time. But I just put up one example of the sort of work that we can do. And this was a patient who had enough of her surgery. She'd been on a very long journey. She didn't want to go and have a nipple graft. So she just decided to have her areola tattooed with the 3D dimensional nipple technique that we teach, we do on our patients, that I believe looks incredibly realistic. And we do a conference, Areola Artistry, and you've got Taryn and Kelly today. Taryn is, as I said, doing her lecture. Kelly is going to be behind the screen on a patient. She hates it, she likes to be on stage. But Ian Brown also joins our Areola Artistry team, and he has some photographs that may help you in portfolios because they are immediate marking up surgical pictures, which I believe Taryn has some of them in her presentation. And Ian's audit that Sam mentioned is freely available. Ask us, we'll email it to you. So, we've spoken about the face, which is the first link with you because you all do micropigmentation. We're now going to move down the body, but we start at the top. Scalp tattooing. And in all of my pictures, when I talk about scalp work, I like to put a picture of the patient in. Your scalp is a person. The top is a lady called Esther, who's had it badly burned. Esther is actually having a gallery presentation of all her work, and and that's one of the photographs that's going in her gallery. But Esther was a great learning curve for us. Taryn has done so much work on Esther, but we started on this scalp by doing, it doesn't work, little dots, which is what we first used to do on scalp work. And then it was actually the patient's boyfriend that said, well, Esther's got curly hair. Why can't you make curly hair? And so we started trying to do some more simulated looks of how Esther's hair would be. It started to regrow, and she's delighted with it. Thinning hair is also a problem for many men and women, so we've been working on Ula as well, and getting some good results. Her hair is looking like it's a little bit thicker. She doesn't have to wear nasty black sprays and ruin her clothing. Men as well, scalp, trauma. And male pattern baldness isn't something that we're in because it's more of a cosmetic thing, but more people are asking about it. But it does link in with men that have areola totalis, no hair at all. Difficult, takes a long time, but good results. Then we're moving down the body again, or anywhere on the body where there are scars and burns. Lots and lots of products on the market for scars and burns, but we believe medical tattooing is an answer. And tomorrow, one of our girls is at a big conference in London, which is a scar and burn conference, where she's on stage specifically on scar and burn. So many ways you can be burned, and the statistics talk about how many people have a burn injury. So there are so many clients for you in medical, and they're not just women, they can be men as well. We have helped Sam spoke about the exhibition, the Uncovered exhibition. When we were there, we met Katie Piper. Katie is doing loads to talk about burn survivors. Her boyfriend organised a friend to throw acid in her face and disfigure her. She is an incredible ambassador to talk about you can get over burns, move on, have a great life, and she's a great ambassador for burns patients. Scars. There are many different types of scars, and the ones that we work on and the ones that we don't. Hypertrophic, we work on them with care. Keloid, we don't work on. Some of my trainers will differ because some of my trainers experiment and use other products, but on stage I'm going to say we don't. Hypertrophic stretch mark. We're going to go on a journey of a few of those. But when we go on that journey, we have a call. Years ago, when I first learned medical tattooing, we put it into practice. If you saw a scar, you start colouring it. That could be making a worse problem for your patient at a later date. So now we look at every scar, and we do MCA, a dry needling technique, initially, if we can, on scars and burns. It's our #1 call before we add colour, and we'll talk about why. Literally, with our dry needling, it's very, very simple. Your needles make rapatures, cause your inflammation as we do, and the scar and burn will soften and flatten. Hospitals now are trying this, which is the most unusual thing because they're not normally allowed to do something without to be an audited protocol, a SAMHSA protocol on protocol, reports, everything. But with dry needling, if you work with care, if a client's scars don't soften and flatten, and in some cases repigment, you're not causing any injury, so it's worth trying. If you're going to tattoo an areola and there's scarring around the breast, if you can, tattoo the allied scarring as well, because your eye wants to be drawn to the areola, not to the scar that is possibly still there. So hospitals are trying it, and I hope we'll get some great data for you in the future to pass on. As I say, if it doesn't work, it's a win-win. Try it. Burns and scars. This is one of our patients for later, and we actually had a serum made with dispersion from urine, which is literally a bottle of pigment without the colour. And we've been using it to see if the needle will slide into the skin easier rather than dry needling it. And some of our trainers like it, some quite prefer the dry needling, but it's something to think about if you feel you want to try it for needle penetration. Give that solution a go.